Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to do some VBA and show you how you can use a do while loop in Excel to cycle through a list of items. In this example I've got Bed Bath & Beyond's stock price history for the past year and the daily percent changes. What I'm going to want to do is cycle through this and highlight any days where the percent change was more than 10%. And so for starters, I'm going to open the Developer tab and launch Visual Basic. And I'm going to insert a module, and now I can start my coding. And so the first thing I'm going to do is open up my sub procedure. I'm going to just call it change. So sub change to create a new sub procedure. And I'm going to create a variable for the cell that I'm going through. So dim for dimension, cell as range. And when you're setting a variable to a range, you need to use the set keyword to set it to something. So set cell equal to active sheet, and that just means the current sheet that I'm on, dot range, and I'm going to start at cell B3 right here. So that's going to be my starting point. So the good and bad thing about using active sheet for a second here is that if you're on the wrong sheet and you run this macro, you may have some unintended consequences, right? So you could do something like reference the worksheet name, but the benefit of using active sheet is that, let's say you can only run this macro from this sheet. You place a button on there and it's just gonna run on that sheet. So it simplifies it a bit, but the danger is if you're trying to, or if you accidentally try to run that macro from a different sheet and then it's looking at the active sheet. So just something to consider whether you want to use an active sheet or you want to reference. You could do something like worksheets sheet 1 or something like that. So just a quick note on using an active sheet versus setting the actual worksheet name up. But anyway, for right now I'm going to use the active sheet. So I've set it to cell B3 as my starting point, and now I can open up my loop. So the do while loop starts with do while, and now basically what I'm doing is setting up my criteria. So I'm going to look at the cell and I basically just want to see if there's something in there. So one thing you could do is use the length function, len, look at that cell, and if it's greater than 0, then basically run the rest of this code. And at the bottom I'm going to hit loop. So right now what it's doing is starting at B3 and it's saying continue on until this cell is until this condition is not met. So as long as there's something in that cell, so as long as the length of this cell, let's say we've got 25.1 on it, so that should be about five characters there. So 5 would be greater than 0, so that condition will be satisfied, so it would continue on and on until it isn't. Now the problem here with this do while loop is that we're not sure how long it's iterating for. So the danger here is now it could potentially go on and on and on and on. It'll never end because there's no way it'll stop, because basically it's going to look at this, say, look at that cell B3. Is it greater than 0? Keep going. Or is there something in there? If so, keep going. Okay. So we loop. Loop tells us to go back up here. We're saying, okay, is that cell greater than it? Still is, right? We haven't changed anything to that cell. So it's going to keep going round and round and round and round. So this is the thing you got to be careful of when you're doing these do while loops, is you need to have a way to adjust these so that the range updates or you're doing some sort of a change. Because if you're not, then you're going to end up in an infinite loop. And if you get stuck in that, where it looks like your computer's running or making noises like it's running a macro and it's stuck, then what you can do is hold down the escape key, and that'll basically break out of the loop that way. It'll force you to get into a debug error and stop it that way, because that's really the only way. Once you're in one of these loops, you got to hijack it and basically stop it. So if I were to just let's pretend I don't do this yet, I don't adjust for that iteration, let's just carry on with creating my criteria. I'm going to say, okay, if the cell, remember the cell is B3, so I'm looking at column B. I could use column C. I've already got the percent changes in there, but I just want to use this as an example to show you some other functions you could use. Otherwise, I could just look at cell C and say, okay, if it's greater than 10%, right, and be done with. But I'm going to make it a little more complicated and say, okay, if the cell value in column B, B3, is greater than the the cell above it, so the previous value is, if we add 10% to that, and this cell is still bigger than that, then the criteria is satisfied. So let me write this out. So cell.offset minus one row, we're going one row up, comma 0. So if I'm at B3, I'm going to compare against B2. And what I'm going to do with B2 is times it by 1.1. So if after adding 10% to B2, B3, the current cell, is still bigger, then that tells me it's been a more than a 10% increase. So that means the criteria has been satisfied. I'll use the then keyword. And always want to close this out so you don't forget that end if. And now I'll apply what I want to happen if that condition is met. In this case, I want to highlight the entire row in yellow. So I'll do cell.entire row .interior .color equals VB yellow. So you can be a bit more specific in your color codes. I'm just trying to keep it simple here. So basically that's going to be just a default yellow. So now if I were to run this right now, the problem is, again, I'm going to be stuck in that infinite loop. It's going to continue on going. There's no way to adjust this right now. So what I'm going to do is before it loops, I'm going to set the cell again. I'm going to say set the cell equal to cell.offset. And again, the offset function just really moves my cell. I did -1 up here when I wanted to go up. In this case, I want to go down. So I'm going to offset this by 1, 0. So that way, I'll move this current cell from B3 down to B4, down to B5. And that way, it's always updating, because this is the biggest danger with these do-while loops. So if you forget this minor step, you're too focused on this criteria, and you forget this, or if you did some other way where we're referencing it, where you can have, let's say we're referencing B3, and we use a variable for the 3, right? And we can adjust it here, so we can say iterate so that B3 plus, sort of like a counter, it goes to 4 to 5 to 6. Either way, whether you're using a variable or whether you're just manually resetting the range by offsetting it to the next cell, you need a way to update that range if you're not making changes, because you need to find a way to be able to continue on this loop, because otherwise you're going to be stuck within it. The advantage of using a do-while loop, however, is you don't have to think about, okay, how big is my range going to be, right? Do I need to set it to 100, to 200? Do I need to count these number of items? Do I need to factor in if I remove stuff or add stuff in? Do I need to skip over certain lines? The do-while loop kind of simplifies that in that sense, where as long as this criteria is met, it's going to execute. So it really comes down to preference. I like to use the for each loop, but the do-while loop can do a similar job anyways. So that being said, I can run this macro now, and when you're testing out code, you can just hit this play button in Visual Basic, and it's going to execute and run this code. So if I hit the play button, it's done. Scroll down. Sure enough, 15% increase, 11.9% increase, highlighted in yellow. So at first glance, it does look to be correct. This is a negative, so that did not highlight, because remember, I was only looking at the positive increase, the 10% positive increase, and so this looks to have captured it. So we've got a lot more big swings here towards the end of the date range. So that looked to have done the job well. It's gone through, and it didn't. And you can see it executed that within seconds, so it didn't go on forever. The loop stopped. If I didn't have this line here, I'll comment this out. And to do that, you can just add a single apostrophe here to comment it out. And now, let's say I'll clear this highlighting out just to show you what can happen. So I don't do this, and now I run my loop. I'll hit the play button. You can see I'm still spinning. When I ran the macro before, it stopped within seconds. Now I can start to hear my computer getting noisy. We see it not responding. So this is what you want to look for if you're stuck in an infinite loop. It's not going to stop. So I'm going to hold down escape now. right? And see, it's gone into a bit too deep, and so you can see this could potentially crash your system potentially if you don't step out of it quickly enough. So as you can see, this has crippled my Excel. So the only way I could realistically stop this at this point, I'd have to do a kill command on Excel just to stop this. If you break it off early enough in the loop, then you're fine. But the danger, as you can see, if you get too far into it, you may not be able to stop it. It may take some time for it to break out, and it still might crash your system. So that's the disadvantage of doing a do while loop. So what I've done is I've reopened my Excel. I had to kill the program using Control Shift Escape, then shutting it down that way. So a very big caveat if you're using the do while loop, and you make a mistake where especially if you got a really complex spreadsheet you're dealing with a lot of formulas, I wouldn't suggest going the route of a do while loop unless you save your work and be careful, because the danger, like I said, of that is that you end up in one of those infinite loops and get stuck. And the only way out of it is to really Control-Alt-Delete, Control-Shift-Escape to close out of it. And that's obviously not a situation that you want to do. And that's why a lot of times I prefer just using the for each loop, just because you have a bit more control over that. So that way, even if you make that mistake of forgetting to make that adjustment so that you're looping properly, it's got that fail safe where you know where it's going to end. Because with the do while loop, as you can see, it can be potentially disastrous for your spreadsheet if you've been working on a lot of stuff, run a macro, forgot to save it, and then it puts you in an infinite loop like that. So just an important thing to consider when you're looking at loops is how you're structuring it and why you may want to use do while loop instead of the for each loop, or vice versa. Like I said, there's not a huge advantage to using the do while loop, and that's why in most cases I'd suggest using the for each loop.